Byron Leftwich in Tampa Bay. He's fired as the offensive coordinator. Rob, I'm going to say this. Now, look, when you average 18 points a game and you got the worst running game in the league, okay, look, whatever. Everybody could be in trouble. But, Rob, I think this was the wrong move. I don't like it because Byron Leftwich has been a good offensive coordinator. And I don't put everything this year that happened or didn't happen on him. Before Tom Brady even got there, Rob, they had the third best offense in the league with Jameis Winston at quarterback.
With 30 interceptions.
Right. And so, obviously, when Brady got there, Leftwich was great with him. They won the Super Bowl. Last year, Brady had a great year. And this year, Brady fell off. But their team is old. Their team is slow. And, Rob, there were the reports that Brady never really addressed. He just said, they write whatever they want or something. But the reports that Saturday nights before the Sunday games, Brady would meet with the receivers and tweak and change the game plan without Leftwich being in the meetings and without telling, the reports were that Leftwich didn't know and found out when the game started.
Which is totally disrespectful, Chris.
Right.
It just is. Even if you want to make changes, speak to the coach.
Include him. Absolutely. And, Rob, if the offense isn't working and Brady had the final say on things, isn't he somewhat responsible? And finally, Rob, Brady ain't going to be there. Now, I know there's reports that, this is a move to try to bring Brady back. The Buccaneers need to accept the fact that they are about to go into rebuilding mode. You got a Super Bowl out of Tom Brady. You should be tickled pink with that. And I know you're down on Brady there, and I'm not down on him at all. They got a Super Bowl they would not have had Tom Brady not been there. And you got two great seasons out of Tom Brady and for your team, even though you only won one Super Bowl. And that's it. And, Rob, they should understand, and to be honest, be glad he's ready to move on and go elsewhere. Because they're not going to be very good next year, with or without Tom Brady. So get ready to rebuild. And I thought you had an offensive coordinator that has shown he can be a good one. So I think they should have kept Leftwich.
I hear you, and your case for Leftwich is good. But, Chris, I'm serious. I know they fired like 5 coaches. They cleaned up the whole –
6, I think.
Was it 6 total? They cleaned house. But they left one guy out, and that's Todd Bowles, Chris. Todd Bowles should have been fired. Leftwich.
From when you look at it, Rob, doesn't it seem – and I don't know Todd Bowles.
Chris.
It seems to have his fingerprints on it. It seems like they're the scapegoats, right?
Everybody's the scapegoat except for Todd
Right.
Bowles. And Chris, I'm not going to let go of this, okay? Todd Bowles is to blame for a lot that happened this year. And you just talked about it. He let Tom Brady undermine him as a coach. Missing training camp for 11 days.
Right.
Missing a walkthrough, Chris, and going to a wedding during the season where you miss walkthrough.
Right.
And then
Absolutely.
changing plays and not talking to the coach or the offensive coordinator or the game plan. That can't happen. Todd Bowles, you embolden Tom Brady.
Right.
You can give him respect, Chris, but you're the coach. I'm sorry. It's not just about one player. I got 53 players to worry about, and we got to be. And Chris, you played football. It's the ultimate team game. It's the sacrifice everybody has to do. Tom Brady wasn't on that page, and I blame Todd Bowles. I know it's hard to push back on a Hall of Fame player and all that. But, Chris, the stuff that Brady –
comes with the job.
I get it, but the stuff that Brady asked for was unprecedented. 11 games from training camp?
Days, right.
11 days. And, Chris, a wedding? Go listen to Tom Brady's – when he talked about coming back and all that. And then Tom Brady was talking about, how many weddings and graduations and family functions I missed over the last 20 years? He talked about it. But now when he gets to Tampa Bay and Todd Bowles is his coach,
Right.
He takes advantage of them. He would have never done that to Bill Belichick.
Never.
Bill Belichick
he
didn't
even
go.
Thought to go to that way. Right.
It wouldn't have happened. And that was the owner. Bill Belichick didn't go. He had a game to coach. I really think Todd Bowles dropped the ball here. And, Chris, the NFL has a problem with black coaches and all that and not getting a fair shot. But I'm not going to close my eyes to Todd Bowles and give him a pass because he's a brother. I'm not. I would be saying the same thing if this was a white coach.
Oh, absolutely.
I would be, and you know I would.
No doubt. And Rob, Bowles has coached 5 full seasons. He coached 3 games with Miami back in 2011, but he's had 5 full seasons as a head coach. He's been to the playoffs 1 time, and that was this year, and they were 8-9. So look, I was glad they gave him a shot. It looked like Bruce Arians helped set him up. But Rob, I don't think he did a good job this year, and you're absolutely right. Like, you undermined yourself.
Right.
You really did. And, look, Brady was a crazy situation. He was
a distraction.
Apparently trying to save his marriage. So I get, like, the way that could, that's tough. But that undermined your authority. And I know players, and we talked to some ex-players, and some were like, hey, he's Tom Brady, he's the GOAT. So and some were like, dude, I don't care who you are. We out here busting our butts, and you're gone on vacation. And so I'm sure it was the same way, Rob, in the locker room. Sure, some players were fine with it because of who he is, and others were probably ticked off. But either way, Rob, it did make Bowles look it takes away your authority, period, the end. And Rob, I don't know. I'm not saying they would have been very good this year, but I do think they would have been better with Bruce Arians.
Yep.
I think they'd have been a better team.
And Brady had an issue with Bruce Arians because you remember he wasn't coming back and then they fired, or he went upstairs and then all of a sudden Brady was coming back. I just think, Chris, you can't be an NFL head coach and do what Todd Bowles did this past year. And he made every excuse. Tom Brady was a distraction. I don't care what anybody says. His divorce became very public. And you know what? When a player misses 11 days in training camp, Chris, and you're a star, anybody else would have been released, okay? Anybody else would have been released. And to think that you're not going to ask
Even if
Brady,
he wasn't I get it. He was out with his family trying to make things work. But, Rob, even if they had said, look, he's 45, he's not going to practice much, and you brought him there, but he's there. You know what I'm saying? He's at camp. He's out there on the field with the guys. He's throwing the football. You see him. Okay, he's not going through much hard stuff. Even that, I can live with that. We all understand how old he is. But not to be on vacation in the Caribbean? You could have done that 4 weeks ago before training camp started. I mean, come on.